Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning. I am Farhan Binti Dahlan from Jabatan Alam Bina and Teknologi Fakulti Seni Bina Perancangan dan Ukur Universiti Teknologi Mara Cawangan Perak, Kapal Seri Iskandar. Our research titled Determining Success Factors of Facilities Management in High-Rise Strata Housing, the Case of Malaysia. With me are the co-authors, which are Dr. Azniza Hamimi Abdul Tarim, Professor Madya Dr. Ashraf Zainuddin, Puan Nuraini Mat Zain, and Puan Siti Nadia Muhammad Ali. This is the outline of my presentation. The purpose of facilities management is to ensure that each element of a building is provided at optimum functionality and meets the user's needs in changing conditions. However, FM or facilities management are primarily seen from the corporate settings. The trends towards community engagement in the provision of high-quality delivery services in FM to reflect the environment, society, and economy for the benefits of community interests has created the demands that professionals and local communities work together in sharing information considering their common benefits and interests. This is called as community-based FM. Under Malaysian National Housing Policy 2018-2025, one of the government's aim is focusing on systematic and efficient housing management by maintaining existing housing to develop cohesive and good quality neighborhood. It is essential to manage common properties, services, facilities, and physical building in a systematic and effective way, as it will affect the economic value of the high-rise strata housing. High-rise strata housing frequently provoke a host of issues due to multiple unit ownerships on a single piece of land. The sharing of common properties and facilities within the same building on heterogeneous of the residents' background contribute towards the complexity of management in high-rise strata housing. The issue of this research is the management practices practiced by the management bodies. Institute governing the development management played an important role in shaping the management outcomes, with good practices of management and maintenance operation achieving to an acceptable standard of living and creating conducive neighborhood environment in high-rise strata housing. The problems of this research is poor governance in owners' corporations, scarce of mechanism such as guidelines or standard of operation as the reference point for building owners, ineffectiveness of management practices by the management bodies being a bone of contention among residents and management. Ignorance may result in catastrophic consequences if a building failure occurs. Such incidences cause the inability to extend a building's lifespan and accelerate the obsolescence process. Therefore, there is a need to improve the effectiveness of FM organization in managing high-rise strata housing in order to achieve cohesive and good quality neighborhood. In this research, we found out that the gap is the issue of construction quality and the sufficiency of documentation during handover to the management body have been debated by Waziri, Sajan, and Istoffer and Randolph, but neglected by the local researchers, particularly in the context of non-low-cost higher strata housing. Meanwhile, this research included the items in the variable of precondition during developer transition period, hence contributing to the body of knowledge. The research objective is to examine the level of critical each of the success factors considered from the perspective of committee members, facilities managers, and residents towards the effectiveness of the facilities management organization managing Malaysian higher strata housing. The research question is, what are the level of critical each of the success factors considered from the perspective of committee members, facilities managers, and residents towards the effectiveness of the facilities management organization managing Malaysian higher strata housing. The scope of this research is focusing on higher strata housing, private, non-low cost, which age more than 10 years after issuance of certificate of completion compliance, focusing on Kuala Lumpur only. According to Demirbek and Manny and Salah Halding, improving the organization's management requires identifying and measuring the impact of critical success factors practices on it. Therefore, to solve the research problem, the critical success factors theory from Rocat 1979 underpins this research. Based on previous scholars, there are about 8 sources of critical success factors identification. Vera and Manny 2019 narrowed down to firm-specific factor as the sources of critical success factors for a firm. Consistently, other few researchers propose internal and external factors of a firm may provide an initial guideline for firm's performance. This research focuses on human-related factors as highlighted by Aziz and Manny 2014 and Muhammad Arif 2018 that the role of stakeholders is the driver of management effectiveness in higher strata housing. Now, moving on to the research methodology, this research is a quantitative cross-sectional research which employed face-to-face survey as the method of data collection. This research uses purposive sampling as the method of sampling. The sampling frame in this research is higher strata housing, focusing on private non-low cost, aged more than 10 years old after issuance of certificate of completion compliance and certificate of fitness for occupation focusing in Kuala Lumpur. The sample size in this research is 103, which utilize G-Power program. The unit analysis in this research are committee members, facilities managers with the position of building manager, facilities manager, property manager, strata manager, or building executive, and lastly, residents. The data analysis technique for this study are descriptive analysis using SPSS and structural equation modeling using SMART, PLS version 3.3.3. Next, the key finding will be discussed. The majority of the respondents consist of facilities managers, which contributes about 47%. Meanwhile, residents contribute approximately about 39%, while community members contributed the least, with only 14%. The findings also found that the majority of the management mode involved in the study consists of in-house joint management body and management corporation. The statistic showed the housing age of the Harasrata housing involved in the study versus the management mode. The findings reveal that majority are from management corporation. The findings also showed that most of Harasrata housing are aged more than 31 years old and above. This table tabulated the main findings of the research objective. It showed the rank analysis based on three types of respondent, which are committee members, residents, and facilities managers. From this analysis, all of the respondents ranked the financial factor as the most top critical factors towards effectiveness of facilities management organization managing Malaysian Harasrata housing. Meanwhile, residents factor were ranked the second topmost critical factor by the committee members and residents. Meanwhile, facilities managers ranked second, the precondition during developer transition period factor, as the second topmost critical factor. From this table, it shows that the least factor that been ranked by all the respondents is competent facilities managers. All the findings support the literature review as shown in the slide. From this research, it can be discussed that financial factor was identified as the topmost critical influence on the effectiveness of the FM organization's performance in managing higher strata housing schemes. The result is expected because financial resources are crucial for controlling the quality and functionality of properties and assets. A research in Sweden by Johnson 2020 found that the residents' perception of building quality was the indicator of the housing cooperative's effectiveness. In the local context, a study by Rasib 2017 revealed that the residents' payment attitude was affected by the quality of the management managing their higher strata housing. Budget shortage was also found to possibly lead improper repair and maintenance. The factor may result in catastrophic consequences if building failures occur, not to mention in aged buildings. The residents' safety and comfort are affected, their building's lifespan is shortened, and the common properties, services, facilities, and physical building may become dysfunctional. Therefore, why all the respondents ranked the financial factor as the top most critical influence on the effectiveness of the FM organization's performance in managing high-rise housing schemes. Based on the aforementioned results and discussion, financial resources were the topmost success factors influencing the effectiveness of the FM organization performance in managing high-rise strata housing. The least ranked success factors were the competent facilities managers. These findings offer new insights into the understanding of the respondents' perceptions towards their effectiveness and performance in managing aged high-rise strata housing in Malaysian industries. This is the list of references for this research. Thank you for lending your ears. Wassalam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.